أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من شر الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الميامين المنتجبين، واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في محكم كتابه: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولقد كتبنا في الزبور من بعد الذكر أن الأرض يرثها عبادي الصالحون. آمنا بالله، صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, my beloved sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today we are going to talk about death of Shaytaan and death of Imam Mehdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. Now, of course, I just want to point out something. You might have seen some repetition. It is not from me. There's a lot of repetition. This is after summarizing. There are a few repeat. Sayyid Muhammad al-Sadr has somehow a way to repeat things a lot, and this is basically old system where people, they were not educated enough, so it needed repeated information, presentation for them so that it could settle in their mind. Nowadays the youth are so mature that if I keep repeating a lot of stuff, they will get bored, you know. So that's why I try my best to remove a lot of repetition, but some of the repeated points are important for us to understand the concept. And it does, like for example, if I mention Sufyani in accomplishment of Imam Mehdi alayhi salatu wasalam, then of course I have to repeat the things which I mentioned in the movement of Sufyani. Because here I spoke under a different topic, there I spoke about Sufyani under a different topic, and that's a way to understand and get a clear picture of what's going to happen and be prepared for that time in future. And mostly we were emphasizing on inevitable signs. If you want to see a lot of things, a lot of signs and other things, then you can also look into other books. But Sayyid Muhammad al-Sadr, he analyzes these kind of things, why and this will happen, and he tries to link the scenarios together, link the puzzles together. And that's what I like about this book, is it's trying to link all the events together, and it's trying to put different possibilities. Maybe whatever I said, whatever he said, you might disagree in interpretation. He gives you an opportunity to think also that no, you might think, oh, what about this? And maybe I might not have that idea. So you might be giving me new idea, because it's all thought process. We have certain material, we are putting it on the table. You guys also think about it, and think about especially those metaphorical things, the realistic things, you know, those kind of things it requires thought process as well. So what is this issue of Shaytaan being died? It is mentioned, some of the hadith mentions that Shaytaan will be killed by Imam Mehdi alayhi salatu wasalam. The problem is that the whole purpose of us being on earth is the challenge of Shaytaan, the challenge of deception, the challenges of deception, the challenges of Shaytaan, evil temptations. So if the Shaytaan is killed, that means there's no temptations, there's no deception, there's no nothing. So then the people of the beginning time will complain to God, oh God, I mean, what's our fault? You brought us in the time where Shaytaan was living, and after the Imam Mehdi's time, everybody's enjoying because you told them Imam Mehdi to kill the Shaytaan. This is a kind of injustice a little bit. So that's why this opinion is rejected, and the hadith which says that the Shaytaan will be brought on his knees in front of the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, and Imam will chop his head off, that hadith is weak. Yes, if we say metaphorically, then we are not talking about Shaytaan, the Iblis, the one who tempted Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. We are talking about a jinn, maybe, a jinn, or we are talking about this great deceiving Dajjal, we can say, because Quran tells us that Shaytaan is not just jinn. Iblis is that Shaytaan. Shaytaan is human Shaytaan also. So the Imam, if the hadith is authentic, then we have to say that this Shaytaan is Dajjal. He will be brought in front of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam on his knees, because he will be Shaytaan of humanic Satan. There are jinn Satans and there are humanic Satans. Human Satan is like Dajjal, is like people who create mischief on the earth, like Saddam and all these things. We can easily call them human Satans, because Quran tells us that there are two types of Satans: deceiving people, creating corruptions, mischief on earth, immoralities, immoral acts. All these are satanic acts. So it's not just jinn shaitans, they create temptations. Human shaitans, they're worse than jinn shaitans. So human shaitan, it could be one Dajjal or some big satanic personality, or Imam will come and bring it to its knees. Or another thing, satanic system. Imam will come and eliminate the satanic system. But shaitan will be there, temptations will be there, the test will be there for the human being. So this is the realistic thing, that the shaitan is not going to die until the day of judgment, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him the time until the day of judgment, resurrection. إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ, until the day people are going to be resurrected. So now we have this shaitan issue being solved, that shaitan is not going to die. It's either the hadith is weak. If the hadith is authentic, then it has to be a humanic Satan or a satanic system, which Imam Mehdi will bring the end to it. So let's see. Before we talk about the shaitan, method of Imam in training his people. These are a few little bit points. I don't want to miss them. Since Shaykh Muhammad al-Sadr mentions them, I'll just mention them briefly. How Imam educates his people, religious education, and whatever makes them become more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing Him more, to know Him more, and whatever makes them maintain the purpose of the government, whatever maintains the purpose of the government, which is worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the jinn and the human. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created jinns and human except to worship me. And that's the purpose of this just government, to be able to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly. More, the economical status of the government will be great, that there will be more than enough for everybody living in his government, which will attract other nations towards his government. And that may be either miraculously or either by the advance of educational system, where the supreme leader has every type of knowledge to teach his people, and thus becomes the most advanced nation in religion, science and technology. So the government of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will be the most advanced nation in everything. And Abi Ja'far alayhi salatu wasalam, إِذَا قَامَ قَائِمُنَا, if our qa'im is out, if he stands, if he starts his movement, وَضَعَ يَدَهُ عَلَى رُؤُوسِ الْعِبَادِ, he will put his hand on the heads of the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on the people, heads of the people, فَجَمَعَ بِهَا عُقُولَهُمْ, and he will collect all the intellectual, highly intellectual people, and or he will complete the intellect of the people. And he will, that says that Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will raise the intellectual level of the community higher. This is what this hadith is trying to say. Unity and respect amongst his followers. In one of the narrations, Sama'at al-Hasan or Sama'at al-Husayn ibn Ali, in one of the narrations, either Imam Hasan or either narrated by Imam Husayn alayhi salatu wasalam, Imam says that the command of the Imam is not going to come, the 12th Imam is not going to come until you see this horrible situation. What is this horrible situation? لا يكون الأمر الذي تنظرون the انتظار, the أمر you are waiting for, حتى يبرأ بعضكم من بعض, until everybody will disown from you each other, denounce each other. This is happening nowadays. Shias, they are disowning each other. Say, you are Yazidi, you are this, you are that. This kind of It's nonsense. We need to really be careful. فَقُلْتُ لَهُ مَا فِي ذَلِكَ الزَّمَانِ خَيْرٌ. Says, when that happens, this narrator says, I think then there's no good in that time. Imam says, no, the good is all going to come in that time, because that's the time where Imam will appear and he will push all this away, bring people together. My beloved ones, unity. If you want to be supporter of the Imam, unite your fellow Muslims, your fellow Shias, unite them. Because Imam will come on those, and he will establish his government on those people. Those people will be the key people for Imam, because we are all children of Imam. And it hurts the Imam to see we fighting each other on petty issues, in individual issues, personal issues. Yeah, I mean, you want to do that matam, do that matam. You don't want to do that matam, don't do that matam, but don't demonize each other. You want to follow this marja, follow that marja, follow that marja. Don't demonize each other, disown each other. This is nonsense. This is not good. How will you be able to support your Imam and you're fighting each other? And the Shias and Shias are fighting with each other, Sunnis and Shias are fighting each other. What kind of message we are giving this to the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam? Come on, snap out of it. We have to unite, we have to embrace each other. I disagree with a lot of Shias, but I embrace them, they are my brethren. I disagree with Sunnis, especially in Wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen and Wilayat of other companions. But I embrace them. If they are willing to respect me and be peaceful to me, I'm willing to embrace them and work with them. Non-Muslims who are saying Jesus is Son of God, I disagree totally with that idea. I despise that idea. God can never ever have a son. But when I see someone who is embracing that idea and is respecting me, I'll respect him. I'll be peaceful. The same way messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, did with people of Mubahala, Jewish people. We have to be very careful. I mean, the extremism is not good. We have to embrace every peaceful human being who loves our cause and wishes to support our cause of justice and peace. And he's also waiting for the coming of Jesus. The Jewish are waiting for the coming of their Messiah. And we are waiting for Imam Mehdi. They all will work together under one government, one banner and one flag. La ilaha illallah. There is no God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Muhammad is the messenger of God. Muhammad is sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the messenger of God. And Mahdi is the authority appointed by God, and that is how the banner will be in that time, inshallah. So let's unite with each other, let's work, let's agree to disagree. And see what Imam Hussein tells us, that Imam will come and push that away. That means Imam doesn't like that disowning with each other. It's a test. Differences is test between us. Educating to respect each other. Imam will educate them. Important narration. Imam Hussein alayhi salatu said, the command you are waiting for, appearance, will not happen until some of you, like Shias, start disowning from each other, and some of you spit on the face of each other, like bad words perhaps. Spitting means bad words. And some of you start testifying against each other with disbelief. Oh, you are kafir, you are this, you are worshipping Imam Ali, you are worshipping this, and condemn each other. The narrator said, there is no good in that time. Imam Hussein alayhi salam said, all the good is in that time, for our Qa'im will come out and eliminate all of that. So let's not wait for Qa'im to eliminate that. Let's raise our dignified respect in front of our Imam alayhi salatu wasalam and tell them, Imam, I am not one of these people who are fighting with each other or creating mischief with each other. If we can agree to disagree. I disagree with many Shias, many Sunnis, but I like to work with them. I like to embrace with every peaceful human being, like Imam Ali told Malik al-Ashtar, people are two. Either they are your brother in religion or same like you in creation. Okay, so this is the education of Imam, how Imam brings unity to the people, not disunity. So we have to learn how to be supporters of the Imam, and that will happen by having excellent morals, working with each other, uniting our body with each other. Like our Shia body, and then our Islamic body, and then our Humanic body. It all needs to be united in a way to have to unite on the commonalities. Concept of punishment. We mentioned this concept of punishment. Why many people say, why Islam is brutal, rude, it has punishment. Wait. Hold on your horses. First of all, you are looking at an individual, like why cutting off hands of one person? Isn't that evil, rude? Okay. You don't cut off the hand of this thief. Okay. What will happen? People will go into the prison. They will have nice food, daily meal, nice air-conditioned prison. Human rights people are not. They are doing their good job in providing a better life for these prisoners. You know. So prisoner is getting everything. What will he do? He will come out. He will steal more to go back into that nice, beautiful life he was spending inside the prison. TV, video, cable channels. It's not prison. It's pampered situation. So this person will come and steal again, and steal again, and steal again. What will stop him? So you are thinking about one person and ignoring the community. Those people are working day and night like donkeys, you know, working hard, sweat, and they're putting sweat and blood into earning these dollars. And this crazy guy comes and he takes it away easily, and you guys give him a nice vacation in the prison. That's the mistake. That's why the burglary, the robbery is increasing day after day, because those thieves are not getting their punishment properly. To stop punishment is to stop a person from committing sin, not to encourage him. Now let's see. Islam tells cut the hand. If you cut the hand of a person, you cut the fingers. If somebody steals, what will happen? This person's hands is cut. It's cruel, yeah, but it's mercy on the society. People will see this hand, oh no, I don't want to steal, I don't want to steal, I don't. The burglary will stop from the society. In Saudi, you see, the people, they go for prayer, their shops are open. Their shops are open. Why? Because they're afraid to steal. If they steal, hands cut. So what does that mean? That means that the punishment in Islam, it may look cruel to that person who's stealing, but it's mercy for the society. Let me tell you one thing. It's mercy for the society because their wealth is secured, and it's also mercy for the stealing person. He got his punishment, he will never think of stealing again, because if he steals again, the second hand goes, you know. And then if he steals again, the leg. If he steals again, the other leg, and then the fourth is death penalty. Details I don't recall. Later on, inshallah, we can discuss this issue. But there is a stage that if he continues, death penalty, you know, because he's not behaving himself. So he got his punishment. He's not going to think of stealing again because he lost his fingers. So what will happen here? He is going to go to the paradise as well because he took his punishment in this world, the society. So it's all mercy. We have to look at the Islamic angle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. This cutting of the hand is not by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is in Quran. It is by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that as-sariq was-sariqa, the male and the female thieves, cut off their hands. You know. So this kind of punishment. Why? Now you send that person in the prison. That person is sinner, committing sins. You will come out, you steal, come out, steal, because it's in his blood. He's enjoying in the prison. And the society, they're living hell because their wealth are being stolen. What kind of message you are giving when you are telling me you are presenting human rights and we don't like this cruelty? Stop the crime. Islam stops the crime. You cannot stop the crime. You are increasing crime. You are mock to the human society. You are thinking about one human, you are ignoring the whole human society. What kind of human rights you are presenting? One person, okay, the rest of the person to hell, to gutter, their wealth is not respected. One person's hand is respected. That's not right. So when Islam provides punishments, it provides punishment in order. Islam when it provides punishments so that people, they can live their life with the security of their wealth, their lives and everything, even their dignity, even the fornications. People, if women, they will not be raped. If one person will get his punishment, the other will not think of raping a woman or even harassing a woman, because he will be lashed. Anybody who harasses a woman is lashed in the Muslim society. So that is why we have to understand the Islamic punishment. One person will be suffering, but the entire community will be secured. But as said before, most of the crimes are committed due to the economical factors and poverty. Therefore, if such was solved, there will be no crimes. Like in the time of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, the rate of crime had reduced to its minimum, or in Medina in the time of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mostly the punishment is done in public, and only one narration of cutting the hand is mentioned in the time of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Unlike the time of the companions who had to remove the punishment of burglary due to the need increase of burglary. You know, that's a situation where the history mentions due to the increase of the burglary and the need for men in the battlefield. So because how can he have men defending his government while their hands are cut? Like this is from an angle of school of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, and different schools might have different perspective. Here, see, the time of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, no punishment was removed. Why? Because it was all peace and justice in the time of the Prophet. Because when these punishments happen, the adultery, this, that, burglary, lashes, it happens in public. It has to happen in public. Public, they have to testify it because they need to get lesson. If somebody is thinking of committing that crime, they will not do it. It happens in public. That means anything happens in public, there has to be narrations and narrators. In the time of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, there is no punishment recorded. The crime went to its minimum. And what happens? Because there was peace, justice, economical situation. Imam Ali provided the best economical situation in the time of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All those punishments which are mentioned, people, they used to commit fornication, they used to come, oh master, punish me, I have committed adultery, I have committed homosexuality, I have committed this. And there are very few. You can count them like maybe 5 or 6 cases in the whole government of Imam Ali. But look at the time of the second Khalifa. One after another, they are caught in the fornication, they are caught in the act of fornication, they are caught in the act of burglary. Its second Khalifa, he had a situation, there were so many thieves because the economical problem went down to gutter. The economics went bad in the time of second Khalifa. So he could not maintain the economical system of Islamic society. What happened? People, they started to steal. People, they started to steal, burglary increased. He had to remove the punishment. You cannot remove the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, he says, if I will start punishing the people who are stealing, then people will be having hands cut. How will I defend my government? The enemies are attacking, you know, and I need to defend my government. For your government, you remove the punishment of, that's not acceptable. And we said that the companions were not infallible. So these are some of the mistakes which the companions of Prophet ﷺ did, which Imam Ali disagreed with it. Why to remove the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just so that people, they can go in the, and make the war, you know, on the war front. So if 1 or 2 hands were cut in the time of the Khalifa, nobody will nobody will steal, and they can go to the war and they can participate in defending Islam. So the thing is, anyhow, these are a little bit few differences of opinion, and we said we can agree to disagree. So if in that system a person will be punished, then the treasury, okay, their question, okay, this hand is cut, how will he earn, how will he live, how will he work? Okay, the treasury is going to support. What is better? The treasury supports one person whose hand is cut, or the treasury supports an entire community living in poverty because of thieves like him? This is more economical to the treasury to provide sustenance to one person than to provide the whole community who's living in poverty. So just think, balance. It's all about balance. How Islam, the rules of Islam are balanced, and they support the humanic society, and they are not against the humanity. The cause of blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more blessing will come. How does the blessing come? Wastaghfirullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, he was telling his people, seek forgiveness from your Lord. Astaghfiru rabbakum innahu kana ghaffara. He is forgiving. Yursilus. If you repent, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send down His water from rains. Yursilus sama alaykum midrara. And then what will happen? The earth will become rich. وَيُمْدِدْكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ. And you will have wealth. And when you will have wealth, you will have wives. And when you have wives, you will have children. You know, أَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ أَنْهَارًا. And you will have gardens and you will have rivers. Now we come to the Shaytaan. Shaytaan, devil, in the time of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. The narrations that indicate that Shaytaan or Iblis will be killed, and his time given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will end by the coming of Al-Qa'im, Ajjalallahu ta'ala, who will kill him. The narration is weak and not linked, contradicts with the flow of the Quran and the purpose of Iblis being on the earth to test the entire humanity, and not the humanity until the day of Al-Qa'im. So Iblis is there to test all the human. Otherwise, human will protest, oh God, why this and why that, and what's our fault? I mean, you have to keep Shaytaan on our heads? No, God is just. Shaytaan is there to test everybody. Contradicts with the narrations which indicate the evil will rise after the system of Al-Qa'im, and the Armageddon or the Doomsday will happen on the earth filled entirely with the evil ones. The author disagrees with this opinion. The author says no, the day of judgment will come with this peaceful government and just government. The other scholars, they say no, the Imam will not bring the infallibility to the people. There will be for some time just government, peaceful world, 40 years, 50 years, maybe 100. After that, the evil will rise again, and until the earth will be filled totally with evil, and the Qiyamah will start, the falling of the earth. And we are going to talk, it's a whole one session inshallah. But here, Shaytaan is not, Shaytaan, a system of evil, or Dajjal. If hypothetically, looking at the narration, as it was correct, let's say hypothetically the narration is correct, Shaytaan could be a system of Satan, or Shaytaan being killed by him. If Shaytaan is being killed by him, that means the Imam ﷺ is eliminating the Satanism or the Shaytanism or the Shaytaniyya, being killed by him by the start of his government in Kufa. So it could be a metaphor for a system, Satanism or the Dajjal or the evil in the earth, because the test and the trial will remain. Imam ﷺ is not going to impose the infallibility on them, on the people, but it is an opportunity to fight the temptations easily under the rules of the just government. And why that? Because the people, they asked for it, they worked for it. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them their opportunity. If people before they had worked for it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would given him such opportunity as well. Shaytaan will have no power on human, because in the Quran it is clearly mentioned that he will have no power on the pious ones and pious and loyal servants. So he may be out of business in the time of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, after the establishment of peaceful rule. Now we come to the next part, which is a little bit painful part, the death of Imam. I mean, we have not seen Imam born, and now we are talking about the death of the Imam. I'm not born, and we have not seen the government of the Imam now, and you are talking about the death of the Imam. Well, sometimes the bitter truth needs to be known, like the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. In the Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, narrated by Aisha and all the other wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and some companions and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, unanimously indicate that the Imam, the first majlis, first recitation of the tragedy of Karbala was done by Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Imam Hussein was born, Jibreel came and told him that your son will be killed in Karbala. And the Prophet started to cry and shed his tears, and the Aisha asked, "Oh Prophet, why are you crying?" He told her the whole hadith, and this is narrated in the books of the school of companions, and we have a lot of hadith about this prediction of the Prophet of Imam Hussein being martyred in Karbala. So the prediction of Imam Hussein being killed, prediction of Imam Ali alayhi salam will be being killed in night of Qadr, and also prediction of Imam Mehdi alayhi salatu wasalam will be killed. The narrations indicate the following: how many years Imam will live or his government will be. There are so many narrations and they are conflicting each other in dates. The narration says, these are the indications, I just summed them up. 10 years, he'll live 10 years. Some say less, some say 5 years, some say 7 years, some say 8 years, some say 9 years. After that, he dies. Another category of narrations, these are 10 years and less. Another category, 10 years and more. This is 10 years, or 14 years, or 19 years, or 20 years, or 30 years, or 40 years, or 70 years of the years of the infallibles. 70 years of the years of the infallibles. So this is the other narration, that he will be, the highest is 70 years and the lowest is 5 years. So between 5 and 70 there are so many narrations mentioning these different years. In one of the narration it mentions he will live 7 years, which is supporting the 7 years narration, but these 7 years are 7 stages, will equal to 70 years. This is how it is mentioned in the narration. So it is not just 7 years, it is 70 years, but they will pass like 7 years. 7 years equal to 70 years from your years. From your years. That means those years, 7 years will pass so fast. These 70 years will pass so fast. 70 years of our years will be at that time like 7 years. Because of the peace and justice and everything is smooth, the days will pass fast. Because when you are living in a nice condition, you don't feel the day, you don't feel the night, you are enjoying, entertaining. So that's why in those years, he will live 70 years, but it will look like 7 years. That means 70 years of the days of infallibles will equal to 7 years of the time of his appearance. That means his 70 years will pass so fast as it was 7 years only. That means he will live for 70 years, but they will pass so fast that people will think that it's 5 years only, 7 years only, 6 years only. They will always feel that they have lived only few days with the Imam, like it happens in our lives, you know. That means that he will live 70 years, but they will pass so fast due to the joy and happiness of the inhabitants of the earth and the heaven. Long-lasting government. So that was Imam Mehdi, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. His days will end after 70 years with the maximum hadith, but they will pass like fast, like 5, 6, 7 years. But the government will last. Prophet Isa will take over, Jesus. That's why the Christian, they say the kingdom of Jesus. Because Jesus will, based on some narrations, will rule, and Yajuj and Majuj, they will come based on that weak narration in the time of Jesus, and Jesus will do dua, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send virus, it will kill all Yajuj and Majuj, and this will be very close to the rapture, doomsday. So that means Jesus alayhi salatu wasalam will take, but there will be 12 successors of Imam Mehdi alayhi salatu wasalam, or these 313 will be governing, but Imam Mehdi will have 12 successors. Maybe the first will be Jesus, and after that there will be 12, and after that the pious ones will die, and the evil ones will rise, and the Qiyamah will befall, and the earth will fall apart on these evil ones. Long-lasting government. He will live until the day of judgment. The government, some of the narrations, they say he will live until the day of judgment. That means his government is going to last. But this narration is not talking about his life. He's talking about his government will be living and lasting until the day of judgment. But rulers might be different, because those hadith are plenty. Though they are weak, but there are plenty which talks about that he's going to die, you know, and there will be successors, they will be taken care of. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in a lengthy narration, in a hadith Qudsi, at the end he says that Allah the Exalted says about the Mahdi, I will give him victory, I will give him victory with my soldiers. That means 313, and the angels, and the fear in the hearts of the enemies. And I will support him with my angels until he declares my demand and brings my creation on my unity. And wahdaniyat, that means the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then I will make his rule remain, and I will let the ruling be passed over my beloved ones until the day of judgment. So this is hadith Qudsi narrated by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and of course this hadith is also weak. The narration indicates that his government and not his life. This government is going to last until the day of judgment, but not his life. And the other, he will rule. Another hadith says that he will rule for 309 years, the number of the years of the people of cave. People of cave. So this is the longest narration. So we have the shortest is 5 years, 7, and it rises. 70 is the limited years average, and then we have the narrations which talks that it will last until the end of the world. The third category says longest period will be 309, the days of the people of the cave. But all these are weak, and Sayyid Muhammad al-Sadr says the abundant narrations indicate 7 years. And if we can combine that, 770, that means he will live 70 years, but they will pass like 7 years. Will Imam alayhi salam be killed like his ancestors? There's hadith which says, "Ma minna illa maqtulun aw masmoom." None of us dies except either by being killed or by poison. Martyrdom, that means. It's an honor for the imams and it's honor for everybody. If he dies as a martyr, that means he goes directly to the ranks, and becomes neighbor of the Prophet ﷺ and the infallibles. So, is Imam going to be, because all the imams, they were killed and murdered. There is not, there's a saying, not a narration from the infallible, a saying one saw a dream or somebody, or heard someone, or somehow, not a narration, I'm saying, that a Jewish lady will kill the Imam and she will have beard. I don't know, I mean, Sayyid Muhammad al-Sadr does not support this hadith. Yes, he will be killed. Yes, he will be killed. But by who? There's no record for that. Who will kill him? No record. Who will murder him? No record. So there's no record for that. Yes, based on the theme of Ahlul Bayt, they want to be honored by martyrdom. He will get this honor. But who will do it? When will? Maybe after 70 years. But that's when. But all the details are not there. And if you hear that someone says that there is a lady she will kill, this lady is not a narration. There's no narration about that. This is a prediction of someone who, some mystic person who has predicted the Imam will be killed by a lady with the beard. And they say that the murderer is now being born somewhere on the place of birth. First of all, let's prove that she is the murderer of Imam. And then let's say that she has been born. So what they are trying to prove is that lady has been born. And how long she will live? 100 years? That means Imam's coming is in this century. Imam is going to come in these 50 years, 10 years, 20 years. Why? Because the murder of Imam is there. Sufyani is born. Many of the mystic people, they say they saw Sufyani in Syria. He's born, he's going to take over the Arab world and he's going to bring hell to the followers of Ahlul Bayt. This is also, they say, because he's born, if he's going to live, he's going to rule. That means Imam's coming is so soon. Maybe in this 40 years, the Imam's government might come. And also they say that Khurasanis are there, or the movement, the whole Shiism is being known all around the earth. The concept of Imam Mehdi is being known all around the world. That means the more the Imam is known around the earth, the more his coming is sooner and faster. So this is one of the things. As same predictions as Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, he will be killed. We will not mention his duration because it has already been mentioned previously, and our preferred option is that it will not be more than 10 years. That means 7 years of the infallibles is about 70 years. This is what he chose there, and now he says that not more than 7. If not 7, not more than 10 years. He will come to establish a base for true peace and justice in the entire earth, so that can maintain the gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given to them, and continue so that they can maintain the gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given to them, and continue their evolution towards having an infallible society, utopia by themselves, and starts from 313, and the end of the world will be like those, and at the end of the whole world will be like those 313. So that means these 313 are the beginners. They will increase. People like 300. At the end of the world, the whole world will be like these 313 people. The quality, they will hold the qualities, characteristics of these 313. So it is the utopia. It's the unique society. So the whole world will be like those 313, based on the theory of the author. The author says the whole world is going towards evolution. It's going towards perfection. So that means this 313 will start increasing in numbers, and then the whole world will be having this kind of quality of the people. Narrations of the death of the Imam. As I mentioned, that in al-Hussein, Imam Hussein will be washing Imam Mehdi alayhi salatu wasalam. This is based on the Raj'a return. I'm not going to open this topic. It's a box of Benadora tomatoes, or Pandora box. I'm going to leave the Raj'a issue in this section. I'm just going to tackle here that there are narrations they saying that Imam Mehdi alayhi salatu is going to die and Imam Hussein is going to take over. This narration is also weak, and Imam Hussein will live as long as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills. Another narration says that a woman from the tribe of Tamim named Saida will kill him with a rock from the above of her roof while he is passing by in the alley of her house. She has beard like beard of man. This is not narrated by an infallible alayhi salatu, therefore it cannot be taken. And a rock being thrown up from the roof, Imam will need more than a rock to be killed. Another supporting evidence of his martyrdom is weak, which is مَا مِنَّا إِلَّا مَقْتُولٌ أو شَهِيد. This narration is not linked, but practically it happened because every Imam was killed. Every Imam was either by poison or by blood. Imam Hussein and Imam Ali alayhi were killed by blood, sword. All the Imams were poisoned, every single one of them. So, and they say it's an honor for us. So if this hadith is weak, but practically it has happened, it was not belied by the reality. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam could be included in this honor and be martyred by someone, not necessarily this lady or beardy lady or something like that. Conclusion: martyrdom of Imam Mehdi alayhi salatu wasalam is not proven by authentic narrations, and it is difficult to consume that in such a peaceful government someone could do that. And with the advanced technology, a blow on the head with a rock can easily be mended, unless if it was metaphor for an advanced weapon used to throw that heavy object and which penetrates the brain and causes a fatal injury. But since the narration is not proven to be an authentic, then such possibility is not needed. Even it's not narrated by an infallible. Some narration, as far as it goes, for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu offering funeral salat on his body, then that is left for the discussion of the topic of the return raj'ah, which will be mentioned in our next lecture. Some narrations mention that there will be no good remaining after Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. Why? Because Imam is Imam, and any Imam, any infallible Imam, the passion of Imam, the fatherly passion, the representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, manifesting the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, passion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in front of you, beloved one. If he dies, imagine what happens. Like these nights, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasallam was martyred. Imagine the Kufa. People in Kufa, they're crying. They're crying. Why? Because they didn't lost Imam. They lost their passionate caretaker. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasallam was not a Khalifa, not a leader. He was more than that. He was a fatherly figure for every single Kufan. So that is how the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they eliminate the pious ones from the face of the earth. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the appearance of our 12th Imam soon. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us among His loyal and sincere supporters in His occultation and after His occultation. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our fasting and worships in this holy month, and make this holy month a month of peace and prosperity and dignity and unity and spirituality for all the mu'mineen and beloved ones around the world. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Wa akhiru da'wan alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi tahirin.